made it to my destination, Glacier National Park. Big sky, ranches, cowboys, the Treasure State. The 41st state to join the Union. Montana. Montana is a state known for its vast and various landscapes, towering mountains and sweeping plains to crystal lakes and winding rivers, rich with history and home to two of my favorite national parks. And I am back. However, this joyous reunion would come with a heavy price. A price I knew I would have to pay eventually, but I didn't realize it would be right now.
Well, Pike is not behaving very well, so I had to put him back on a leash just to give him a little bit of a timeout because he was trying to jump the fence and just typical Pike things. But it feels so good to, be here and to watch the dogs just play. Agron is running. He's got a bit of a hitch in his gallop, but it's nice to see him playing and just enjoying this evening. Look at how beautiful this place is. It's incredible.
On a grim day in February of 2022, I received bad news on all three of my dogs. The first, Pike needed to have 31 teeth removed, and that was an expense I wasn't prepared for. The second, the vet suspected Jethro wouldn't make it through Christmas that year, but I got 3 bonus months with him. And third, Agron had cancer. While thankfully I still had so much time with all of them, that day would forever be bookmarked in my memory. Fast forward to now, I've lost Jethro, and now I just got off the phone with the vet. Agron is not doing good at all. He's got his hip issue full on right now, and he's just whimpering and whining, and he acts like he has to go pee, but when I take him out, he won't pee. And it's like every 5 minutes I'm having to take him out, and he's just pacing and panting. I just talked to the emergency vet. They said that he could have overstimulated himself and pinched a nerve that's causing the bladder to have issues or something. It could be that he's just overstimulated, and he's, a male, he likes to mark, and he's just all worked up, and the hip dysplasia is making it 10 times worse. She said to let him continue to drink fluids because you don't want him to get dehydrated, but hopefully that'll help him push it out. Maybe he's just on empty tank and he's just still feeling the urge, but he's just, on an empty tank. But she said that if he still hasn't gone to the restroom by the morning, that I need to take him into the clinic, because that could be an obstruction, it could be a tumor on his bladder, it could be a UTI, it could be a number of things that are not good for dogs. But he's just sitting here yelping and whimpering, and I don't know how to help him and make him feel better, and that is just the hardest thing for a dog mom.
Oh, looks like he peed. Oh no, there's blood. Oh no.
Hey, Dad. Hello?
Hey, what's up?
I'm driving 2 hours to Kalispell.
Okay, so you think he's not doing too good, huh?
Well, I just talked to the vet, and they said it's probably UTI, but you don't know with an obstruction. At first she was like, if he doesn't pee by the morning, then you need to take him to a clinic. Hung up with her, took him back outside, and it was pure blood that came out.
Okay.
So I called back. I called back, and she was like, honey, you need to bring him in.
Okay. We'll get over, be safe, go do it. I'll be up. You just give me a call if you need to talk or something, okay?
Baby, I love you. I love you, honey. Wait. Oh, go right here. Okay. We just stopped to let him go pee and it's just pure blood. It's just pure blood. It's just blood. Come on, buddy. I just had to stop again and he's still peeing blood. Ready for this. Last time I walked into an emergency vet, I came out without a dog. Stay, Pike. You stay for just a minute. Okay. You go potty, honey? Oh, good boy, honey. Pure blood. You're my sunshine. I love you, honey. Okay, I'm at the vet and they just took Agron back. They have to stick a needle in his bladder. I hope it's just a UTI or an infection or something like that. Baby boy. It's just Pike and I now. I know, baby. Agron's gone. It's just you and me. Okay. Let's go home. I don't know where that is. Gotta add it to my Jethro. Come on. Come on. The vet said that Agron's bladder was completely covered in tumors and that he didn't have much of a bladder left. And there was nothing that they could do. I made a promise long before my dogs were in this position that I'd never put them through that kind of pain or suffering just that I could spend a little bit more time with them. I made a promise that if they were experiencing diminished quality of life, that I would do what I needed to do to ensure that they were not suffering and in pain. And I wasn't prepared, although I knew. I think I knew the moment I saw blood in his urine what that meant. But you know, there's always hope. There's always hope. The vet came in and said, "There's nothing I can do for your dog." I knew. It's easier, I think, to have a plan in place before these moments happen, because you don't have to wrestle with it. You already know the plan. But the pain, you can't take that away.
like we've got some fresh bear scat. Well, it's not really fresh. It's from earlier today, though. You know, it's been a couple of days now. And I think it's finally starting to hit me. I've been a little bit more weepy today. I was scrolling on TikTok and I just trying to keep distracted because I think the more I sit with nothing, the more I dwell and fixate. And I came across a TikTok that said Jesus wept. Read that Bible verse 100 times. It's the shortest one in the Bible. But I think it hit me a little bit differently today than it has other times I've read it, which is one reason why I think it's called the Living Word. But Jesus wept as I'm crying. Jesus felt pain just like I feel pain. He knows more than anyone about pain and suffering, you know? I don't know, there's just something comforting in that. This grief has been a little bit different. It's so strange, and you know, the more I talk to people who have experienced multiple losses, have all kind of said the same thing, that it doesn't get easier, but you have perspective. Like, you know, life moves on. You've experienced that, and that doesn't make it easier to deal with the loss. But somehow it's like it's almost more manageable. With Jethro, I didn't have any perspective. I was heartbroken, and the world ended. Time ended, even though it didn't. And I think it hurt that life continued to move on. So this time with Agron, I know life moves on. I've done a full grief cycle with Jethro. I went through all of the different stages. A couple weeks ago, when I was still in Southern California, I took Jethro out of the car. I had started to come to peace and to terms with it. And it's almost as if I was making way for Agron and that grief. And I guess there's hope in this, because I do recognize that life goes on. And I think one of the things that's helping me so much with Agron and that loss is that he lived his life to the absolute end. There was nothing anybody could have done to help him or save him or make him better. He had no bladder left practically. There was nothing. And yet at the end, he still loved. So I think that's really helped me a lot with processing this. There was nothing anybody could have done. There was no open-ended. There was no questioning. It was the right thing, and it was his time. And that's made it a little bit easier, I guess. Come on. When I was at the vet the other day, and it was time to say goodbye, and they'd given him the anesthesia medicine that kind of makes him just pass out and go to sleep. I had about 10 to 12 minutes with him as he was calming down. And once he got about 5 minutes in, he started to lay down, and his heavy panting started to soften, and he rested his head right here, and I was kind of behind him, and he had his head right here, and I was able to nuzzle him. And as I was petting on him,
as I was petting on him, I was able to tell him all of the joy he had brought to my life. I was able to tell him, like, do you remember when I brought you home? The first time I met him, he was 3 weeks old and he fit in the palm of my hand. It's amazing to think, huh? And when he was 6 weeks, I went back and I had first pick of the males, and I picked up each male and held him like backwards Simba. And Agron was the only one that licked me, and he chose me. And then his one ear wouldn't perk up, so we always called him helicopter ear. And when he was a teenager, he was super awkward and floppy and just couldn't quite fit into his body size yet. And how I used to joke and call him my neurotic dog, because he would just go ape nuts whenever he would see another dog or a person. And how when we were in Washington State, he kept me safe from an unfriendly person trying to come into my camp. And how I would forever be grateful. We miss him, don't we? Yeah. It's been tough. Pike's not used to being an only dog. We're gonna get through it, huh? We're gonna get through it together. Yeah. You good boy. I'm so thankful I have all of these videos to look back on and remember all the moments that I might forget, you know? Life moves on, doesn't it? Whether you want it to or not. Before I know it, it's gonna be 1.5 years that he's been gone, just like Jethro. It's time to go. Come on.
If just for a minute I'd fall asleep and not dream about you. I hate to admit it, I'm out of ideas, I don't know what to do. Most of the times I think I'll make it through, but all that it takes is one image of you and it shivers. Nobody knows the way it shivers. Nobody knows. It hurts just a little when I'm with my friends and we drink till we're done. Yeah. So I can't remember how it would feel to wake up in that bed right beside you. All of the memories I try to erase just comes back when I'm sober and I see that face and it shivers. Nobody knows the way it shivers. Nobody knows because it shivers. It's cold and it's dark without you in my arms. Yeah, it shivers, it hurts. If just for a minute I'd fall asleep and not dream about you. And I hate to admit it, I'm out of ideas, I don't know if I'll cope without you. Yeah, it shivers. Nobody knows the way it shivers. Nobody knows 'cause it shivers. Shivers, it hurts. Shivers, it hurts.
I'm so thankful I have you, Pike. You're my boy. It's just you and me.